Welcome back to another video from Bulls to the Wall Trading. I hope you guys are having a nice start to your Sunday and a nice weekend overall. This video is going to be a little bit different. This video is going to be regarding the indicators that I use in my charts, more specifically the MACD and the RSI indicators. For those new viewers, this channel, Bulls to the Wall Trading, is a channel that I created in order for me to teach people how to trade and share my experiences. So if you're looking to trade and if you're looking for new ideas, then I suggest you subscribe to this channel and hopefully you can learn from me. I'm not a financial planner nor a financial advisor. So anything that I discuss here is just my personal opinion. By no means is it, how do I say it? I don't want you guys to take my word on everything. This is just my experiences, what works for me. Maybe what works for me doesn't work for you, and that's fine. But my goal is to get you guys to see that trading isn't all that hard, and hopefully make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand trading and hopefully get in. So with that being said, please subscribe and like if you enjoy these videos and if you're learning. And let's get into these indicators. So like I said, I use the MACD and the RSI. I used to use these a lot, but recently I don't really focus on them that much, and it's just because I'm more comfortable in my style of trading. Before I get into the description of the MACD and the RSI and what they are and how to use them, the way that I make my videos is I'm very I don't like to get into the technical terms. So I just like to explain the theory behind things, how they work, and leave out the nonsense that you don't need. So if you're watching this video and you're expecting me to tell you the history of the MACD and this line is called the K line and the formula behind the K line is this divided by that, and like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you what you need to know, when you look at it, the theory behind it, what you should be looking at, and that's it. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching my video. If you're more of somebody that needs definitions and the technical terms and the history behind it, this isn't it. So just want to make that clear. The way I like to make these videos is basically like if I was at a bar explaining this to my friend. I'm just kind of put it in simple terms, and I think that's a very easy way for people to learn. So the MACD, this is basically a momentum indicator. This basically is supposed to tell you when the stock is going up or when the stock is going down. The theory behind the MACD is that when this line, which on my charts I have it as a blue line, and I believe this is the average. I believe that line is called the average. Give me 1 second. So that's a value. So the blue line is a value, and the white one is the average. Alright, so the theory behind it is that the blue line, which is a value, whenever it crosses the white line, is a bullish trend or a bullish signal, and it's a opportunity to get in. These red and green indicators here go hand in hand with what the lines are telling you. So when the blue line crossed, it started going green because that's positive, meaning the stock is going to go up, or it should go up, or it's going up. When it's going down, it's telling you it's bearish. So the theory behind this is, again, when the blue line is crossing the white one, that's a bullish sign. When it goes below, it's a bearish sign. And if you can see, it goes hand in hand. It's going down here, the blue line is going down. Now, I myself, I don't really pay much attention to the MACD because I'm more of a chart trader. So, for example, I found support here and I drew my line here. So I'm looking for a bounce play to hopefully get in. So this was a good situation right here because the stock came down, it found support, and it turned green. If I'm looking at the MACD, it's telling me it's going down, it's bearish, it's red, don't get in. But then it bounced up. If I was following the MACD, this would be telling me to get in basically around here at around $2.72, but I could have gotten in at $2.44, 43 cents. So, I guess it's up to you guys if you want to use this as a buy signal or not. I'm more of a chart trader. When I'm trading, I'm just looking for bounce plays. Yeah, I'll look at the MACD, and even if it's negative, even if it's red, I still go with what the chart is telling me. So that is the MACD. It's a momentum indicator. It kind of tells you the flow of the charts, the flow of where the stock might be. And again, the theory is that this blue line, whenever it crosses the white line, again, the blue line is the value line. Whenever it crosses the average line, that it is a buy signal. So use that however you want to use it. Again, I am more of a chart trader. I go by what the chart is telling me. I will browse at the MACD, but I will not invest in a stock just because the MACD is telling me not to. If the chart looks good to me, I will invest no matter what the MACD is telling me. Now, as far as the RSI, this is more of a indicator as to where the stock is as far as I would say potential. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. So the way that you can see it is, how strong is this stock? How, are a lot of people, do a lot of people believe in this stock? I guess is one way that you could look at it. So the theory behind this is that the stock should move in a healthy range between 30 and 70. That's why these lines are right here. Okay, and this is the standard value, 14, 70, 30, close, and Wilders, and the same thing for the MACD. These are the standard, if you will, the industry standard. So for the RSI, the theory behind it is that the RSI should be between 30 and 70 and just moving in this range. That's a healthy trend. That's a healthy stock. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. If it goes below 30, which you can see right here, this is considered an oversold situation. And it means that basically this stock is not very strong right now, that not a lot of people have faith in it. It basically went to crap. It's basically it. And the theory behind it is that if it goes below 30, you don't want to buy because, nobody's buying it, or it just went really low, and it doesn't have a really strong future, if you will. So that's the theory. Now, if it crosses above 70, that means it's overbought, which means that it's too hyped up, too many people are buying it. Basically be careful because it's had a big run, and it might come down soon. Now, just because it's up there doesn't mean that, it crosses 70 and it's telling you watch out, and then tomorrow it'll come down. It could hang up above 70 for a couple of days. If people are buying it, it's going to stay up there. So this is another indicator that people use to determine if they're going to get in or not. Myself, I don't use this to make my decision. I don't use the MACD to make my decision. I go based on the chart. I look at both of these to determine, hey, where is it? Okay, it's not really doing all that well. But if the chart is telling me to buy, I will buy. So let me see if I can show you guys a different one. Okay, this is another stock that I'm in, TRQ. So this is another example. So for this stock, I got in right here at 270 something. Now, this is a perfect combination because if you look at this candle, the MACD started to turn started to go upwards and turning green, so that's a good sign. Again, even if it was red right here, me personally, I would have still gotten in because the chart is telling me that this could be a good bounce play. But in this situation, everything worked out. It's a bounce play, the MACD is turning green, and the RSI is going from basically an oversold position, and it's starting to trend upwards to the overbought, meaning it's recovering. So this was a great situation. This is where all three things are telling you to buy. Some people only buy if all three conditions are met. Again, that's not what I do. I go off the charts. Now, if I find a situation where all three things are telling me to buy, I will for sure buy because, you know, everything is saying buy, buy, buy. So I do that. Let me try to find like a more a stock that moves more. So this is Apple. So here's the situation here. So RSI is above 70, which means it's overbought, meaning, you know, watch out, it's extended, too many people have it, be careful. But if you notice, it hung around in the overbought territory for a couple of days. So just because it crosses this line doesn't mean that it's going to come crashing down the following day. It'll hang up there for a couple of days if enough people are buying. And then same situation, it came down. It had a dip, so the RSI realized that everybody was selling, so it wasn't strong at that point. That's why it fell below 30, and then it started to recover, and the stock recovered. As far as the MACD, you know, it goes along with what it does, with what the stock does. It's going down, and then once it starts to recover, that blue line crosses and it turns to green, and the stock starts making money again. If you look at any chart and you look at the RSI, I'm sorry, the MACD and the RSI, they basically mirror themselves. So that's part of the reason why I don't really make a decision based on these two indicators, because if you look at the chart and you look at the MACD and the RSI, it's basically the same thing. So once you look at these charts for a very long time, if you see this dip, I don't need the MACD to tell me it just went to red, because if I'm seeing this dip on the chart, I know it's red. I don't need the RSI to tell me, okay, it's now oversold, because if I see this dip, I know that RSI is going to take a dip as well. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Let me look at, let me do like Walmart. Here's another situation, you know, the stock took a dip. You know, I don't need the MACD in order to see that it's in red. If it's going down, it's going to be in red. And I don't need the RSI to tell me it's oversold, because I see it here on the chart. Let me go back to this one. I think that's basically it. I mean, you know, I look at these, but it's not a determining factor to decide if I want to buy in or not. I'm usually just going off of the chart. But again, the theory is, if you guys want to trade with all three signals, this is the idea right here. If you find an opportunity on the chart to get in, you'll look at the MACD and say, okay, well, is it turning green? Or is my blue line crossing the red one? Or is the blue line crossing the white one? Or is the red, meaning it's going down, is it getting slower? or is it getting is the downward trend getting lower, which means it'll eventually turn into a positive trend, and is my RSI between 30 and 70? That's the trifecta here, and that's a way to trade if you're looking at all three situations: chart, MACD, and RSI. As always, guys, you got to do what's best for you. I have found it very difficult in the past to look at a chart, look at a MACD, look at the RSI, and then I would just get confused because the chart looks good, but the MACD might be red and the RSI might be down. It became a little bit too much for me, so that's why I decided to be just a chart trader. But again, I do take into consideration where the MACD and RSI is, but it's not the end all be all. What's telling me to buy is the chart pattern. So I hope that makes sense. It's kind of difficult to explain, this whole process, but I hope it made sense. You got to figure out what works for you and what your best style of trading might be. There's a lot of people that don't even use these indicators. They just, look at the chart, which is something that I'm leaning towards, but it doesn't hurt to have these here just in case. I think that's about it. I hope the video made sense. I hope you guys understood it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Please subscribe and like. I do have a free chat room available through the Discord app, so if you want to join that and be part of our little chat room community, I will leave the link in the description, and you can ask any questions you want there, and we'll help you out to understand not just the MACD or the RSI, but chart patterns, candles, moving averages, everything that you might need help with. We're there to help you guys out. So thank you guys. Have a nice rest of your Sunday and a nice rest of your weekend, and check back tomorrow for my watch list video. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.